Hello, my little patrons. I love you guys. I love you, man. Freaking love you. Let's get this streamer going. Boom. And we'll wait for the fun to begin.
Too bright.
Too bright. That's no better. Hey guys, how we doing? Good. I'm a bit late, sorry, and I need to get this protein shake down me.
Is that better?
Is that better? Nah, I think that's too dark. It's a bit bright, but I think it's all right. Phlegmface is in here. She's allowed. And Goji, man. How you doing, Simon? Good to see you. Got a cat on the go. How is everyone? He's looking at his... where you wouldn't tell your mother. Lad, confirmed. I love that lady. Vegeta's in the house. Probably not pills. Robert Pacino. Robert, what film was it that you wanted me to big up last time? I've forgotten because of my stupid brain. Nicole Sutcliffe is in the house. Oh, it's jumping. Mr. Marathons, can you formally challenge Sverige to a fight? I can't, I'm vegan. It doesn't feel like the right thing to do. Kind of grown out of all that. Having said that, I've kind of grown out of calling people out, you know, being unkind to them and rude and whatever. Yeah, I'm doing these videos. It doesn't feel good to me. I will say that. Vegan powerlifting. Yes, I am at Veg Fest. Are you coming? Comment down below. Who was at the vegetable festival at the end of the month?
Not many vegetables.
London Veg Fest. There's not many vegetables ready for a vegetable festival. Marshall Lee's in the house. Oh, lovely. Guys, do subscribe to Marshall Lee if you're into your martial arts malarkey, and do subscribe to Goji Man if you're a fan of vegan, you know, health, nutrition content and all that good stuff. Vegeta, what is this t-shirt nonsense? Oh yeah, I've got a t-shirt on for once. I thought I should start wearing it so I can make some sales. So this is the primary design by Ethics, link in the description, and discount code. Give us your money. Chiara, hi Hench, what is the optimum muscle mass percentage we should strive to increase longevity and health? I don't know that the science has been done. Probably like the lighter the better, up to a point. Isn't it about 3% for a male considered like... Some people say no less than 5, really. I don't know. I don't know that the science has really been done. And yeah, probably not as low as 3, though, I doubt. Love the shirt, but please don't French the camera again.
If it's a live stream, and he'll French if he wants to.
Yeah, I'll do a whole live stream about Frenchie in the camera. Johnny the Legs in the house. Yeet, have you watched Game Changers? Yeah, I watched. I've not watched the final cut, but I watched. I think probably the final cut. I don't think the final edit. I don't think Lewis Hamilton was in it, was he, when we watched it? We got to watch like a sort of digital download type thing of it, like a one-off, because I was involved in the Game Changers. Amazing film. We had tears in our eyes a few times, didn't we? Tears of joy and excitement. That is going to change a lot of minds, that film. Fastest selling documentary ever on iTunes. That's pretty good. Stephen Ross likes my stupid brain. That's good. Oh, I'm going to butcher this. Pianthiti. Hello from Thailand. Thanks for joining, my friend. How are you doing? Oh, Earthlings and Dominion. Right, I'm going to... Yeah, they would be good choices. Beep, beep, boom. Curmudgeon's in the house. Robin Saxophone is in Arizona, I'm guessing. It's jumped again. The Shadow Bee, is it better to do cardio / running before or after strength training? Optimally, do them on different days. If not, I say weight training AM, cardio PM. If not, if you're doing them in the same session, always your strength training first. So you need your glycogen in order to fire your muscles. And then once you burn some of your blood sugar off, if you're doing the cardio for fat burning, then you're more likely to tap into your fat stores. The only reason I'd ever suggest doing it the other way round would be sort of sports specificity. Like if you want to be a runner, then I guess you'd probably do the running first. But ideally, you do it at different times. There's things like the hormonal response from training where, after weights, the quicker you get some nutrition on board, like the better recovery you'll have. Can you put it aside, especially for sparage? It would be easy to go down that route, but I really need to not be that person anymore. I was a bad person. Would you say that, Gemma, back in the day? I was a bad person.
It's hard to quantify what that means, really, but you were very different to how you are now. Very different.
Yeah. Zamasa Black, love you, but I love you too. That's nice. W Staff, hi, what's the best source of calcium? Is the body absorbing the calcium from soya milk? I think most of the calcium in soya milk is probably like an artificial one, is it? There may be some in there. I just think, really, if you're eating a calorically sufficient whole foods plant-based diet with your legumes, with your whole grains, with your nuts, seeds, herbs, spices, fruits, vegetables, it's all in there. It's all in there. Leafy greens are one of the better ones. Not so much spinach, chard, and beet greens because of the oxalates. But when I write a nutrition plan for an average person, they get tons more calcium than they need just from. If you eat like a decent diet of mostly whole foods, you've got the different stuff. It's very few nutrients of concern. If half of your calories are coming from junk, then we need to kind of worry, really, is what I'll say. The phlegm face, the videos don't seem too mean when you look at the sort of things the people you respond to say. Yeah, I get what oh, thank you, W Staff, £2 on the super chat. Thank you kindly. You're a lovely person. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think when I first did response videos, I would be sort of attacking the person rather than what they're saying and whatever. So I've kind of learned to make it a little bit better. My IRL friend Julian's in the house. I'm not sure what he might have said though, but he's a lovely man.
He asked something about why is he more attractive than you or something.
Oh, George Horlock, £2 on the super chat. Tell us a funny story from your childhood. Love you, bro. I love you too, my friend. You're awesome. A funny story from my childhood. When you're on the spot, it's like nothing comes to your brain, isn't it?
Just take a moment.
Yeah.
Take a moment. Take a breath.
Okay, I don't know if this is funny or not, but I was well into Star Wars and went into this particular department store. And I don't even think this is funny. Anyway, I'm going to carry on. David Prowse, Peter Prowse. Darth Vader was in there. We're all kitted up. And I nearly peed myself. I was so scared. Yeah, that's about it. Doesn't feel very clever now. Aaron G, $5 on the super chat. From a convo with an anti-vegan on the credibility of PubMed sources, is there a difference in importance between randomized controlled trials and epidemiological studies? Do you know, I'm not big on the hierarchy of evidence and all that. I'm not a research scientist. I've never been trained in all that. I'll tell you who's good at all that would be Dr. Venus, like Leo Venus. He did a post a while back with the hierarchy of evidence. And there is a difference, I know. I'm not sure. I would imagine the randomised controlled trials are considered better. But don't quote me because I've not been trained on it and I'm no expert. Catalyst, do you still take steroids? I've never taken steroids in my life. Never. Whatever they are. PNC, how long and how many days a week do you recommend for bulking for a beginner? I think, it depends. There's a million and one different ways to approach it. My preferred method for an average person, like non-drug assisted, and a lot of people will shoot me down for this, but I like to see whole body push, whole body pull, legs. I think that's great. So 3 days a week. Some people like to see whole body 3 days a week at the other end of the spectrum. And I suppose other people like to see more training sessions. But yeah, for my money, for what it's worth, I like push-pull legs once a week. A lot of people will say the science does not support that, but just from my personal experience, having trained lots of people, that's what I believe, to be honest. I'm open to the idea that I might be wrong. Tiki Mikula, €10 on the super chat. Thank you very much, that's really kind. Some current carnivores used to post workout videos and physique videos when they were vegan. Now that they're carnivores, looking at you, Bobby, there's no such videos. Lost gains, perhaps. Yeah, I did hear James Lightning Wilkes, the producer of the Game Changers, on Plant-Based News' recent video with him on. He referenced a study of keto eaters, and they did lose muscle mass. It was fractional. But in the same study, the people eating carbohydrates and stuff as well put on muscle. Yeah, so it's certainly not an optimal diet for sports performance, and obviously not for health either. Good point, and thank you for the very generous super chat. That's really kind of you. TH101, what is the best plant-based protein powder in your opinion? Thanks for asking. I'm a big fan of Vivo Life's Perform Protein, which is the reason I became an ambassador for them. I'm drinking it here. I've got the Madagascan vanilla. It's delicious. Link and discount code in the description. No, I'm just joking. Buy what one you want. But if you want my perspective for the best one on the market, that one is no nasties. It's organic. It's third-party tested for heavy metals. Most powders are contaminated with heavy metals. And they've recently gone to compostable packaging as well. I hung out with Josh, the owner. He came to Norwich, where I am, to train with me one day, and we spent the day hanging out, eating. Real good guy. He's in it for the right reasons, and I'll back those guys to the hill. Best, most effective protein I've ever used. It's not you are what you eat, you are what you absorb. And since I've been using Vivo Life, and I never thought I'd say this about a supplement, but I feel the benefit of it. I really, really do.
You missed another one before that one.
Oh. Suzanne Davila, $2 US on the super chat. What is the easiest way to get daily omega and iron? Again, like if you're eating a calorically adequate whole foods diet with the range of different foods, you shouldn't be too concerned about things. Iron, I think I get more than double the amount, and it's not a nutrient of concern. But I suppose it's like leafy greens and things, isn't it? Let me just have a look at a sort of average plan I write for someone and see where most of the iron comes from, just out of interest for you. Boom. Right. Iron. So for someone... Oh, wow. So this is for an average female in a caloric deficit, 1750 calories. So on a fat loss diet, 29 grams of iron, over 29 grams, 3.65 times the RDA. And I can see that lentils are at the top. I advocate like a can's worth of lentils. A can of tomatoes I often advocate. That's like 150% of your RDA almost just in those two products. Spinach is huge, kidney beans, oats, quinoa, sweet potato, kale, and there's a bit in the mushrooms and the frozen berries even. Yeah, iron is not one of concern. If you're eating properly, if you're eating some whole grains, some legumes, some fruit, some veg, some nuts, some seeds, that's really not one of concern whatsoever. The omega-3, I think that flax and chia seeds are king. They are sort of 3+2 to 1 in favour of the anti-inflammatory omega-3 relative to omega-6. So it's good to have 1 to 3 tablespoons of those. They must be ground to absorb the omega-3. And then if you have sort of a similar amount of other nuts and seeds, it's good to keep those roughly in balance if you can. Nearer 1-to-1 is probably the most healthy. However, it doesn't matter so much if you include a DHA supplement as well. So you can just take 250 milligrams of DHA, like the long chain omega-3, and that's the amount found to be of a benefit. So fish eaters have some benefits in some ways over non-fish eaters, and it's the fact that they're getting this direct DHA. For most people, 3 tablespoons of flax or chia should be adequate to see them get, we elongate the ALA into EPA and DHA, as long as we have the elongase enzyme, we've not got a genetic mutation or something where we don't produce that. So some people do actually need direct DHA. It's unusual, and it is poorly converted. However, we don't need all that much DHA, so we don't need tons and tons of flax or chia. Having said that, Vivo Life have brought out a new DHA supplement, which is a tincture. It's sort of lemon flavoured, and it's a high dose. I think you'd only need that a couple of times a week, and you'd get all your omega-3s. And that one, because a lot of the supplements have carrageenan, which is class 2A carcinogen, which means it probably causes cancer. Most supplements have that, whereas the Vivo Life one does not. So again, link and discount code in the description if you want to get a carrageenan-free EPA DHA. Most people probably don't need it if you're eating your flax and chia. If you're not overdoing the omega-6 relative to omega-3, they're fairly in balance. You shouldn't need it. However, it is a good safeguard. You may need it. You may be one of the people who has a problem. Worth considering. I recommend it just as a fail-safe. It's cheap as chips. It's all good stuff. Right, we had another really generous super chat, didn't we? Yeah. The Happy Boy Vegan, 20 Great British pounds on the super chat. That is so generous. You lovely, lovely person, helping me to live my purpose and spread the vegan thing. You're amazing. Vegan gains. Have a lovely weekend, both. Have a lovely weekend.
Oh, thank you.
Didn't even have a question. Just a lovely, lovely person. You guys, you really make my day. You're so lovely. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh.
Someone's saying about they hear omega-3 oil's bad if it's heated. The Vivo Life one is cold pressed, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be. Omega-3 is destroyed if it's in oil form. So flax and chia with the whole food, they must be ground for us to absorb them. But when you heat the whole foods version of omega-3, like flax or chia, or walnuts or hemp, there's a bit in those as well. I've forgotten what I was saying. Brain fart. You can heat those and it doesn't matter. But if you heat oil, it does kill the omega-3. It doesn't kill the omega-6, which is another reason. Oil is the worst thing a vegan can eat. There's like a dozen to 15 reasons I could quote you if I stopped and thought about it long enough. Really skip the oils. Right. I'm going to skip forwards a bit. If I miss your comment or question, do pop it back in the chat.
You're getting some really
if you want to.
Good, unusual, varied questions.
Oh, yeah, because we called it Ask Me Anything, didn't we?
Yeah.
So that was a good idea of yours. I was a bit scared to do it in case the questions were a bit naughty or, Yasmin's Conscious Kitchen. Hi, lovely, with your little wrench there wielding it. We're really good. How are you, my darling? Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Carmine Words. Met a guy last week who claimed to follow a carnivore diet. Yeah, it's getting a little press lately. For people with a messed up gut, there are some short-term sort of benefits. It feels like it's healing. It's not. It's just masking the symptoms, and the issue will be getting worse because we need a healthy gut microbiome. The good guys eat whole plant foods. They eat soluble fibre and resistant starch, and the bad guys eat everything else. So if you're just putting meat in there, you're just feeding pathogenic strains. So you're going to come out with, you've not got a healthy gut if you put healthy foods in there and you get all sorts of pains and You know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous. But, you know, I understand, like, if you're in enough pain, like, you just want the quickest, easiest answer to get out of the pain. So I understand, but it's a very short-sighted strategy. Jovan, how do you get the wrench on your name? So the wrench wielding people in there are moderators. So basically, I like to have at least a couple of people in the room. Once I've known someone long enough and I can see that they're a good person and they're on a similar wavelength to me, I do bestow people with a wrench. But it's sort of rare now because we've got so many already, you know. Ray Stevens in the house. Hey, brother. Human carnivore equals delusional pretendivore. That's very true, isn't it? That's very true. The whole argument really is, look at my massive fangs. I think my one's actually shorter than the incisor to the side of it. Oh, my good friend George Horlock, £5 on the super chat. Oh, and you're off. Thanks for shining your light. And right back at you, my friend. I see that you are always doing good in the world. Appreciate your activism too, my friend. You are awesome. Nice to see you. And thank you for your kindness. That's nice. That's really lovely. Johnny the Legs wants me to wrench him up. I remember this martial arts dude back in the day. He was a member of there was the Guardian Angels in New York and whatever, wasn't there, with the Red Berets? And then there was a crew called the Angel Guardians, because all the sort of naughty people knew that the Guardian Angels didn't carry weapons. So he was a member of the Angel Guardians who did carry weapons. And I used to buy this martial arts mag all the time. And he was one of the sort of writers. He was a columnist. And I remember him with a leather jacket and a big wrench. And he would say that he used that to clear out nightclubs at the end of the night when he was a doorman. Like, if people are taking their time, he would walk around with this big wrench to intimidate people. Apparently that really did the trick. Doffy20, are you going to make more videos of Frank Tofano looking like a carnivore clown? Why, yes, I am. He just gives you, like, comedy gold. And I was sort of critiquing Sverige often, but it seemed like people got bored of Sverige and then the views went down on these videos. But when I do a Frank Tofano one, they seem to be popular. So he seems to be the phone call from someone. Oh, I need to put my phone on. I didn't take my phone off contactable. 1 second, I just need to drink my drink. Oh, that was bad. Just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Remind me to call Mark Bone back after the stream.
Okay.
Ols1234. Hi Paul, is there any evidence that beans/lentils can raise estrogen? Nah, I recently had bloods done and had raised estrogen. Don't drink and not overweight. I've heard this can raise it. No, I've never heard that. And they're so helpful. If anything, they would sort of optimise your hormones more than anything, I would have thought. They certainly wouldn't cause you a problem like that, though, anyway. Eric Webb, $1.99 on the super chat. Oh, and now it's gone. It goes too quickly off my phone screen. $5. Keep fighting the good fight. I will. Thank you, Eric. You're very kind. W Stav, £2 sterling on the super chat. Thank you kindly. Have you joined the Extinction Rebellion and Animal Rebellion in London? No, I'm a little bit away from there, and just busy with social media and nutrition plans and whatever. I would like to have gone. If it was a bit more local, I certainly would have popped down. One of my friends is talking about popping up there like one Sunday or something. I don't know how long it's going on for. If he drives there, I will pop along with him. What a great thing that's going on there. That's brilliant. Jovan, I think you said in the previous video that mint is one of the best herbs nutritionally. I understand it's the most antioxidant rich herb. Although mint is like a group of different herbs, different mint. I think peppermint and different things come under that heading. So I don't know specifically which type. I don't think I got that from Dr. Gregor, and I don't think he said any recommendations on how to consume more mint powder. Any recommendation on herbs? I sometimes add mint to like chocolate smoothies or chocolate Datorades. If you got sort of cocoa powder in your porridge, so you can have like mint chocolate. Dr. Gregor whizzes it up with, he makes a hibiscus tea, like cold steeped. And he puts all the good stuff in there. And he adds mint leaves and whizzes it up in a blender. And it gives it like a green froth on the top. Yeah. I like it in salads as well. Mint, it goes well in salads. Anything else? Curries.
Yes.
If you make a tomato-based like Indian curry, and I find if you have a good bunch of coriander and half the amount of mint, that seems to be the right balance, and it tastes amazing to me. Yeah. Any more, mate? While I just drink my smoothie.
Like a fruit salad, some mint chopped up.
Fruit salad, yeah. Mint goes well in a fruit salad, weirdly.
Yeah.
DG17, can I train with you? Probably not, because I've got a training partner already and he'll be sad. And I've stopped the PTing just to, put more time into the online stuff. But I'm sorry about that. Where lime is cannabis nutritious. I understand that there are something like 100 cannabinoids, including cannabidiol or CBD oil, which actually I need to take this as well. Remind me to take that after I drink my shake. There's loads of good stuff in there. Obviously, the THC can send you a little loopy, and it's not optimal for daily life if you need to be functioning well. Chickpea sarnie, can beer raise estrogen? I could be yeah, beer is awful. Like hops do raise estrogen really bad, which is why you see a lot of sort of drinkers with man boobs. Robert Pacino, how narcissistic can one be? Watched Frank Tofano. There's your answer. Yeah, I think you may be quite right. The Shadow Bee, what's your opinion on CrossFit? If you have any, I'm not interested in trying it. I just like to hear people talk about it for some reason, positive or negative. I think it's amazing. Like, they are some of the best athletes in the world. I think it's one of the better protocols for, to make an optimal sort of athlete, like kind of an all-round athlete. The only criticism I have of it is how technical some of the lifts are, and you're doing them at speed, like trying to beat, do as many reps as possible in a short time. I think that's a recipe for injury. That's the only sort of criticism I have. But, if you program a decent, what do they even call a CrossFit workout? I've forgotten. You know what I mean? If you program a decent sort of routine, which isn't like dangerous, then brilliant. And in fact, I have used that style of training with clients in the past. Particularly these two guys I used to train. They worked in the same office together, and they were highly competitive. One was a little bigger and stronger. One was a little smaller but fitter. And so I used to have a mix of like sprints and like heavier weights and then lighter things for reps. And they used to train so hard. You know what I mean? Yeah. Brick Lane, UEL, where are you at? Norwich. Yes, Norwich. Do you know it? Fiona Marshall, I'm 60 and trying to get fit. Any advice for us slightly more mature ladies? And a kiss. Oh, we love it. I like you. So, spend a little longer warming up. So 10 minutes cardio before you do anything, particularly like weight training and things. Spend 10 minutes to get your body warm, raise your core temperature, get your joints ready to go. I like to see people doing resistance training, like at any age. You know, if you're new to the gym, hire a trainer for at least a short time so you know how to lift safely. Perhaps, you know, get a workout plan, nutrition plan. I can offer both. My email's in the description box if you wanted to chat about that. Of course, you can see like a local trainer or nutritionist for that as well. Yeah, that's it really. Like, just do it. Like, it's never too late is what I'll say. And I saw one study with a guy, he was in his 90s, never trained in his life, and he put 40% more mass on his quadriceps in a fairly short time. And apparently your quad size does have a bearing over your longevity. Yeah, do it. You won't regret it. Just do it safely. Definitely get some resistance training in there. Definitely some weight training, be it free weights or machines, perhaps in the beginning. But yeah, everyone. We should all be doing something. I advocate for about 3 days a week. I think is probably optimal for most, or is enough for most certainly. I sort of typically advocate 3 resistance training sessions alternated with 3 cardio sessions, and trying to be progressive in both. So you try to lift a little more each week or two, just even if it's a little bit. If you're doing, whether you're fit enough to run or you're only fit enough to walk at present, pick a distance. Try to do it slightly faster week by week, or try to go slightly further, depending on, just try to increase the intensity is what I'm saying. Is it a good idea to stretch before workout? Is a good question to ask. Stitching, no fap. Before training, it's really ballistic stretching. So sort of arms around, like leg swings, because you want to be supple at speed. Okay. So sort of mobility drills are better. Like I was saying, swinging your limbs around, twisting, all sorts of things like that. Perhaps like yoga, sort of, I like sun salutation. I like to work through a few of those. They really sort of free up my lower back and my hips. And then you train. If you're doing cardio and weights in the same session, as I said earlier, weights first, utilize your blood sugar. Get stronger abs. Cardio is second. You burnt your blood sugar off. Now you're going to tap into your fat stores. After training is when you do your static stretching. So if you did like a static stretch at the beginning, and then you try to lift, you actually weakened yourself a little bit, because with muscular contraction, you're trying to fully like shorten the muscle, but you've sort of made it harder for yourself. You kind of stretch yourself out. There is a clinical negative effect on your total swim. So before a bench press, I might swing my arms back, which is fine. What I wouldn't want to do is stand in a doorway and really stretch. However, having weight trained and now you've shortened your muscles, in order to aid recovery, is actually a good thing to do the static stretch after the training. So you're elongating your muscles back to how they should be. So that's the sciencey bit. I need to get this down my neck, sorry.
You've had a super chat from Redo X.
I'm going to call him Redox.
Oh.
Redox. 20, is that rupees? Nothing to say, just a lovely person. You beautiful, beautiful person, you. I don't know if you're a boy or a girl, or if you don't associate with either. Identify with either, I was trying to say. Whatever way, thank you very much. I nearly done it. Seuss Eric. Hey Hench, do you know how can I eat vegan on the go, like on a day trip without carrying food from home? I'm sure there's supermarkets probably where you are. There's fruit, there's salads. Something I'll often do, if I do have to eat on the go, is I'll go in like a Tesco or somewhere. I'll buy a pre-packaged prepared salad. I'll buy a can of beans. not the best, but I'll maybe get a pouch of microwave rice or some rolls or something would probably be better. You know, you don't really want to be eating oil if you can help it. A little bit of hot sauce, something like that. A bit of fruit, a little nuts and seeds. That would be how to eat healthily. But, you know, I don't know where you live in the world, but in the UK now, there's vegan stuff in every fast food place. And so, you know, you should find it fairly easy, depending on where you are.
We like to get a jacket potato on the market and then get some other things in Tesco's to like put on it and go.
Yeah, we sometimes get a jacket spud with beans. Again, there's a little salt and sugar probably in the beans, so not the absolute best.
But you could get some other sort of beans in the supermarket and put it on the plain spud.
Yeah, but then they'll be all dry in that.
And get a sauce.
Don't listen to her.
That's how I do it.
No airline. Would you consider doing a debate with a carnivore YouTuber? I think that would get a lot of attention. Yeah, probably would. I don't know. Someone like Sverige, they're just so juvenile, and they don't want to. They don't want to like speak to studies. So then it's just conjecture, isn't it? It's just like opinion, and like how do you, and like, you know, people like Bart Kay want to talk down to you and be really rude when they wouldn't say boo to a goose in like real life. Just irritates me. And I don't know, I think if you're that far gone that you think that only eating the foods, you know, which have the fat, cholesterol, trans fats that are associated with the number one killer disease, it's clinically proven that they cause it. The only critical risk factor, elevated serum LDL from those three things. It's beyond, you know, there's too much evidence now. There's people reversing heart disease by taking out those foods, by just putting in the whole plant foods, Caldwell, Esselstyn, Dean Ornish. But if they really think that like just eating those foods is the healthiest thing to do and don't eat fruits and vegetables, I just don't know how you. It's bonkers, crazy bonkers. You know, I think you'd get your audience. You get carnivores, which will think you're an idiot. You get your vegans, which would be like backing you up. And I just don't think you really get anywhere. Yeah. Michelob Vale, where'd you get that T-shirt? I'm glad you asked. Ethics, link in the description, and discount code GURUS. Yeah, blah. I'm just going to skip forward a little bit. Do comment or question or all that if you want to. Alan Shearer, Dean Ornish diet was not vegan. They ate salmon and low-fat dairy. Since then, he has done whole foods, plant-based only. He was speaking to that somewhere recently. Luke Orchard, what would you consider a safe amount of saturated fat to consume each day? I don't know. I mean, it's only the long chain and very long chain triglycerides that are of concern, I believe. I've never heard anyone say an absolute number on it. What I will say is that the people preventing, treating and reversing disease with diet only, they consider 57 milligrams per deciliter or lower of serum LDL that your coronary artery disease proof. So really, that's the important thing. How low is your serum LDL? So you kind of need to know what that's doing to then see. But, you know, why there is no essential saturated fat. We make all the saturates we need from the other fats. So why, you know, why would you want to like try to eat? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Just what I'm trying to say is limit it as much as possible, basically.
And I'm thinking about natural attainable quantities of like nuts when they're in shells, and you would be able to eat a lot of saturates, would you?
Yeah.
It'd be hard. Yeah,
naturally you wouldn't get, well, other than if you did manage to catch an animal, but mostly they get away, don't they? 9 times out of 10. From the sort of ancient hunting methods. Johnny Legs, do you find Bobby's drug-induced perspective annoying as hell? I know idea. His levels of dishonesty are intolerable. I watched one or two of his videos really early on, and just he does great on me. Just the way he speaks. I shouldn't say that, it's not very nice, but I just can't put myself through it. Not that I'm the best speaker in the world, so whatevs, each to their own. Sitching, I understand it's hard to debate them because they are just sceptical of everything you bring evidence. Yeah, man-made evidence, yeah. Blonde Pablo, what vegan YouTubers would you recommend besides just, why, thank you. Vegan YouTubers, I don't watch a whole load of vegan YouTube, really. I think Mike the Vegan's great for some science-based facts and to learn how to, argue against all the nonsense that comes up. He speaks to like recent things in the news where some some journalist just speculated that vegans don't get enough choline, so you just learn, like, it's quite current, and you learn how to advocate for veganism. So I think he's great. I love nutrition facts for their, again, like the nutrition based science, evidence based nutrition science, I should say. Who do I really watch? I think Derek Simnet's particularly good because he is into his fitness, but he's also like backed sort of nutritionally, and he more promotes whole foods. I watch most of the vegan fitness YouTubers just to know what the competition's up to and to get ideas and whatever. And I like the guys. Like, I've met a lot of them in real life and hung out with them. Most of us are ambassadors for Vivo Life, so I will get to hang out with them at VegFest and whatever. But a lot of fitness people, very few fitness people are really into considering micronutrients and not having oil to, trying to avoid diseases and things like that. So yeah, out of them all, I resonate with Derek Simnet in terms of like what I think consider really good content. But I don't really watch a lot of vegan YouTube anymore.
Family Freedom we watched, don't we?
Family Freedom, because they're our mates, they're good fun.
Goji.
And Goji Man, yeah, very good. So again, vegan nutritionist, very good on gut health, which is the linchpin of good health. So I can't recommend him highly enough.
I like those vegan guys, like, do you?
Those vegan guys.
They're nice, aren't
They're good people. Tara, are rice cakes junk food or okay? They are processed food, so they're not as good as eating a whole intact grains of rice. The problem with them really is that they are heated highly, so they're going to accumulate a lot more acrylamides, which are a type 2A carcinogen. They probably cause cancer. So I do eat them daily, and I do wish that I just ate the whole grains instead. So do as I say, not as I do. Miklo Vale, this man's a hero. Earthling Ed, yeah, he's great. Joey Carbstrong I enjoy as well. Oh, and Hench Herbivore, one of my favourite channels, thank you. Leon Kutstra is in the house as usual. Bron Pablo discovered Goji Man through me. Oh, sure, you forgetting him. Yeah, I did. He was in my head to say it, and then I forgot as I was running on. Yasmin's Conscious Kitchen. Is soy protein isolate something to really avoid? Have it daily as it tastes in smoothies, etc. There is some science to suggest that soy isolate raises IGF-1, but my perspective on that is we've not really done science on other. I just don't know that the science has been done on other proteins, and I'm suspicious, if it is just the fact that it's got the same sort of amino profile as, lots of essential amino acids, like an animal protein, which raises IGF-1. I wonder, is it going to be the same for whatever? So I don't really know. What I will say is, for the masses, we probably don't need to be taking protein supplements, and nearly every occasion, whole foods are vastly health promoting, and processed foods, by and large, are a negative. I don't know how much of a negative, and I don't know that all the science has been done, but I don't promote it except for the case of a larger strength or conditioning or strength athlete or physique athlete, really. From a health perspective, better to eat the whole foods, I'm sure. John Connor kindly donated $4.99 on the super chat. He brings up a good point. Vegan muscle. Thank you, brother, for supporting my work. Really appreciate it. And good old Lloyd Christmas, $5 Canadian on the super chat. Philosophical question. Get past 10 walker zombies or one runner zombie. Choose wisely. Yeah, I'm not that far. I'm quite fast off the blocks, but I get tired quick. So, but I think for a larger guy, I've got quite fast hands. So I think I could smash the 10 walker zombies. I feel like I would do them really quick. Because they're quite slow, most zombies, aren't they? Definitely 10 walkers. What do you think?
Oh God, I don't want to think about it.
Gemma hates zombie stuff and it gives her nightmares. So thanks for the super chat and thanks for. I do like cheeking Gemma about zombies and sharks. I often try to show her sharks.
I hate zombies and sharks.
She's got a mortal fear of zombies and sharks. Thanks for the super chats, guys. You're really helping me live my purpose. So I love you. Kilo Centre, hey there, any advice for iron deficient vegans? Well, I spoke to this earlier, so I'll just speak very quickly. But if you're eating a healthful diet, which should consist of really only or very much mostly whole plant foods, if you're eating your legumes, you've got your whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, spices. We did look earlier at an average plan that I send out for a female on a caloric deficit. And she had something like 3.65 times the RDA of iron. So don't have, is it like tea and coffee blocks iron absorption?
So that was calcium, no?
I think that's iron, isn't it? And do have vitamin C. So, again, if you're eating whole foods, kale, you're going to have iron, you're going to have vitamin C. Boom. Yeah, that'd be good. Don't overdo oxalate-rich foods like rhubarb, spinach, kale, rainbow. The different chards because they will bind with iron. Sorry, Donna, were you going to say something? No, she was not.
You're going to talk about zombie sharks.
Zombie sharks. Cool. There's a night. I'm surprised there's not been a film yet.
Don't speak this up. Come on. Change the subject.
Jungle is not massive, brings up a good point. Tottenham. Perpetually annoyed is in the house. They are annoyed for being late. But, they're perpetually annoyed, so what do you expect? Science 2916, any advice for vegans with arthritis? You've just reminded me to take my CBD oil. So this probably will help. I did have a client with the nasty one, osteoarthritis, and by eating a whole foods plant-based diet, ditching the animal products, sugar, oil, by doing some resistance training, the stretching and the strengthening, he all but reversed it, believe it or not. But for a quick fix, obviously do all those other things as well. A lot of people with different pains oftentimes get huge benefits from CBD. I've not taken mine yet, so I'm going to take mine now. Link in the description. Honest Hemp. Honest Hemp's great. I didn't realise. I thought it was just cannabidiol, but I believe it's full spectrum. So you've got like the 100-odd different cannabinoids, but no THC. They're bringing out new products soon, an extract. Okay. So I guess that won't be oil. That will be actually
like the
almost pure.
Oh, that'd be great.
Cool, that would be great.
And like gummies and stuff, didn't they?
Gummy, yeah, vegan gummy bears. And chocolates, I don't advocate sugar, and I certainly don't advocate cocoa solids. they will raise your LDL. But good that they're about for people who don't mind that, I guess. Rowdy Cowboy, how do you feel about vegan gains? So I watched this stream recently, and someone asked if he thinks I'm on steroids. And yeah, he gave a really good response and was really kind about my physique. So, you know, he's not been unkind to me. And I think he's done a lot of good. I mean, some of the ways, particularly how he initially used to advocate, certainly not the way I'd go about it, and, you know, some quite negative kind of things. But I feel like he's matured. You know, he can still be quite controversial, and perhaps I wouldn't go about certain things that he, you know, in the same way that he does. But by and large, I want to say of Vegan Gains that he's highly intelligent and he makes very watchable content. You know, it's probably turned more people vegan than I have, and I like to feel that I've probably done a few, but he's probably done many more times. And we, you know, we all resonate with different people, and some people do need a kick up the butt, and maybe he was the one to do it. I mean, I certainly see a lot of people in his comments saying that he turned them vegan. Yeah, massively intelligent, great content. Yeah, I would hang out with him. I would hang out with him, and I'd like to shake his hand. But I understand why some people might think he's not a nice person in a lot of ways. So, you know, it's all perspective, isn't it? It's not been horrible to me, so that's something, isn't it? What's that phrase? Speak as you find, or whatever. Fiona Marshall, are you going to Veg Fest in London? Yes! I'm going on the Sunday and we'd love to meet you and Gemma. Well, you will. We'll mostly be hanging probably at the Vivo Life stall, or I'll be at the Ethics stall a bit. I'll probably be at the Honest Hemper stall a little bit if those guys are there. That's what happens when you're ambassador for too many people. I'll be doing some panels, so the Vivo Life crew are all going to be there. So we're going to be doing some panel discussions. Yeah, make sure you say hi. I love to meet everyone. It's one of my favourite things. I think we have, as humans, one of the 6 human givens is the need for connection. And I think mine is bigger than most. So please say hello. I'm really quite disappointed when I see people in the comments saying, oh, I saw you at Ventress, but I was too scared to come over. You know, I'm not anyone to be scared of. Like, I like to think that I'm a nice person, and you know, I know I'm a bit sort of big and, you know, sort of mean looking, but with a shaved head and a beard and all that, and stupid tattoos from when I was really insecure. But I'm not that way now. I'm really loving now. I act out of love instead of fear now, and I love to meet everyone. So do come along for a squeeze.
Keep the teddy bear, don't tell anyone.
Yeah, don't tell anyone. Fandar, what do you think about seitan? I'm glad that it exists. I've never eaten it because I was terribly gluten intolerant. I may have cured my gluten intolerance, but I don't really want to test it out and see. But, you know, in terms of macros, for people, you know, people like gym goers who are worried about protein percentages is a great tool. Oh, this has jumped. Ray Steve, I've never seen an ape in nature pretending it needs to feed like a lion while wearing a headband crying on YouTube. That is hilarious. I liked it that he was leaning on an unnatural lilo, like an inflatable thing that he was in a river or something. You know, using a lilo to hold him up. And I wanted to say to him, well, there are no lilos in nature. You are stupid. Oh, this has jumped again. Eric Webb, I'll just throw this out there. Hench, Gemma, do you have any words about essential oils? There seems to be a generation of good info about them. Essential oils. It's not something I'm really clued up on. What is that for smelling?
So people have like lavender for relaxation.
I understand that they are meant to be good, yeah. And it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I'm no expert on them. I've got some, but I'm not an expert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, never really particularly used them, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some goodness in there. Scotty Muldoon, would you recommend the Centre of Excellence Vegan Nutritional course? Don't do it. I speak from experience. I should probably speak about that a little bit further, shouldn't I? So, yeah, I've went through it and it made me irate. It's ridiculous. It's hardly any real material, and most of the material that it is well, I don't know whether to say disinformation or misinformation. The information is wrong either way. The person who wrote it, English obviously wasn't their first language, so it's a bit hard to fathom at times. Total misinformation, and just no substance, nothing that would prepare you to actually do the job, but just a load of nonsense. So basically, I had to sort of forget everything I'd learned. It was like something out of the 70s where they were saying, oh, pregnancy, like young children, like old age, none of these people can be vegan, which is not the position of the most credible health authorities in the world. And yeah, it made me really mad. Excuse me. Oh. Mercy Merv. Hench, I thought I heard from you that plants have 16 times more nutrients on average. Did I mishear this? And it was 64 times more antioxidants. So, according to Harvard University, they did a study and vegetables were 16 times more nutrient dense than meat. And then there was another study, the biggest ever study on antioxidants. It was 16 teams of researchers all around the globe. They looked at something like 3,100 different foods, something like that, and foods and beverages. And on average, plant foods had 64 times the antioxidants of animal foods, is the sciencey bits. I really hate this question. Rhodey Cowdy, what are your thoughts on abortion? I feel like most vegans are pro-choice. I really hate that question because most of the times I get asked it, it's by non-vegans, like wanting to be an ass. You know, it's not something that... And what I kind of say is, well, I don't demand that babies, you know, unborn babies or fetuses or whatever are killed. So... You know, it's not something I'm contributing to, therefore, like, I don't really have an opinion. It's not something that I get involved with and have really thought about. What is your perspective on killing animals, like, unnecessarily, that, you know, is something you're actually doing? But I suppose, to be honest, I don't know enough about it to really, you know, really have a strong opinion, but... Without all the facts, my initial opinion is if a group of cells don't have sentience and that birth would cause massive suffering to the mother, you know, I would be pro-choice in that case. But I suppose people are probably arguing about when sentience is and things like that. So it's not an argument I really like to get drawn into. And I think oftentimes it's kind of a straw man. Like they're commenting on a vegan video, trying to bring that up to make themselves feel better about the animals they pay to get stabbed in the neck. So I like to just say, well, I'm not contributing to that. Let's talk about what we can contribute to or not. And I like to bring up the fact that I contribute a reasonable amount of money to Project Child Save, who rescue children from the sex slave industry, risking their own lives, you know, from drug cartels and people at gunpoint. They're mercenaries made up of ex-forces and FBI agents and people. So I say, I am funding, helping humans while simultaneously not hurting animals. What are you doing other than hurting animals and trying to get into an argument about humans where you're not actually helping humans? You're just like arguing, whilst I am helping humans and animals. Like, get out of here. Do you know what I mean? Did that make sense? Anyway, we've been on for a good hour. I should probably have some din-dins. Thank you, you wrench-wielding moderators, for your service, you lovely people. Thank you for the super chats. Thanks for just joining. Thanks for the likes, for the dislikes. They all help. Thanks for the comments. As I say, humans have a need for connection, and this is part of mine. I get to connect with all you awesome people who keep turning up every week. If you're new here, I'd love to have you become part of the Hench Herbivore community. So hit subscribe, click that bell icon so you're notified of new videos and live streams. I'll be on next Friday at 6. We're not away anywhere that weekend, are we? Or anything? No. Have a video out for you soon. Me love you long time. I wasn't being racist then. There's the hand of the voice from beyond. Goodbye.